It's very British of you, Jack.
That was very satisfying.
Hello and welcome to the InGeneral podcast, the Jurassic Outpost podcast, episode 122. My name is Jack. I'm joined with Caleb. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I just poured a hot coffee. And I'm also joined with Jaden. How are you, man?
Hello, I'm doing well. I'm breathing.
You're breathing. It's Saturday morning for you, right?
Yeah, 7:30 a.m.
At that
Out here.
time for recording. Thank you
It's fine.
for the early start. I truly appreciate that. Tell me what's going on in the world of Australia and Jurassic. Jurassic times Australia. Jurassic crossed Australia.
Yeah, we've actually done a campaign for Chaos Theory, which I'm pretty surprised about because we didn't really do that much for Camp Cretaceous as a whole, besides like the captive stuff, but like no actual physical campaigns. So at the moment we're doing a campaign with Boost Juice. I know viewers can't see this, but we get these little cups and there's a QR code on the back of them, and then you can
Bumpy.
bring Bumpy to life in your backyard or something on your phone. And yeah,
Oh, cool.
so that's pretty cool. That's been about it. Other than that, nothing really. Just that. Realistically, that was the only campaign physical pop up. But yeah, Chaos Theory. I think it was like number one here in Australia for like about 2 weeks. So
on Netflix.
yeah. It went really well here.
Yeah, I kept seeing it. I didn't have Netflix for a while. I had to get it again to watch Chaos Theory, but I did see it once it was released because obviously we had it as preview content. But when it was released, it was constantly the recommended and then top like in the top 10 or whatever they do, which I didn't see as much for Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, true.
I think it spoke to a much wider audience, I have to say. But I don't know. I don't think you can truly get a sense of Netflix like viewership, can you? The way they release their numbers is weird. You can't, I don't...
Yeah, it's a weird analytic process that they do. Like, it's just you have to wait till the official like listing comes out in like the country after like a few days, because that's what happened after
They
Chaos Theory.
they tell us it's number one, and we believe them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Well, I think it's still doing really strong on Rotten Tomatoes as well. Last time I checked, it was still 100%
oh yeah,
fresh, and then like 95 or something on audience, which is just so high for something
it's
this far
fantastic.
into a franchise as well. You know, we're
Yeah,
talking this is after the sixth movie. That's crazy, and it's an animated show as well that isn't technically geared for everyone, and it's doing so well. So there's a few bits of news we want to talk about, but in this podcast we are primarily going to focus on Jurassic World 4 because that's the, I don't know if some listeners out there probably won't be aware, but there is a new movie being filmed in Thailand. But before we talk about that, there's a few things to cross off. So Mattel have announced their upcoming San Diego Comic-Con tie-in Jurassic Park figure, and it's Jimmy Buffett from Jurassic World, his iconic cameo. That's going to be a cool item. They do something every year, right?
Yeah, it's very cool. Like what they did with this figure. Like
yeah, it looks awesome.
yeah, I would love it in my collection. It was just so unexpected as well. Like that's the best thing about it. It's just so unexpected, funny, but like just such a great timestamp of like the movie and stuff like that. Like it's funny. I really like it.
Yeah, it's the Jurassic World Hammond Collection bubbles up Jimmy Buffett figure. So, and it's him standing in a margarita glass with dimorphodons around him, and it lights
I
up
love it.
and has the Jurassic World logo on it. So, I feel like, I mean, yeah, it was random. I wasn't expecting it to be Jimmy Buffett, but I feel like he passed away late last year, and so I feel like maybe that sort of has something to do with it, like a memorial for him almost. But yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's served in a large large margarita jug as well, isn't it? The whole thing served in,
served, yeah.
served to
the
you.
the outer box has like Buffett with like the scene of him in Jurassic World carrying the margaritas like inside of his name, and then like the inner box with the toys like a margarita pitcher. Yeah.
That's great.
So
He was at the premiere as well, I think, of Jurassic World. I think they Jimmy Buffett like performed there at the premiere, and Chris Pratt and Frank Marshall, and they were all on stage singing together, which is pretty cool.
Wasting away again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But along with that, I think I don't know when this was announced or how this was announced, but there is a new line, Mattel of a new line. Can somebody?
Yes, yes. It's so the new line is called Legacy Reimagined. The Jurassic June episode of Beyond the Gates was this week, and the set they introduced
Oh yeah,
was
that's how
also
it was
really,
announced.
really cool. Yeah. Um, I'm finding it because I want to say the name, but hang on. No, so the new line, while I'm looking this up, is Legacy Reimagined, and it apparently like incorporates nostalgic things from the 93 classic collection, and like some of the builds from the Legacy collection. So they didn't say explicitly that they're like combining those two lines, but they're sort of combining elements of those two lines. Um, let's see. So the new set that they announced was the 93 Classic Collection, Tyrannosaurus Rex Off-Road Tracker Pack, and it's very much old Jurassic Park Kinner vibes. A beautiful blue and yellow juvenile T-Rex and a Jurassic Jeep that both look like the Kinner sets from the 90s. It's awesome. And in that episode, they also announced Legacy Reimagined, which, in their words, bridges classic toy nostalgia with the current Legacy Collection build. So it's kind of like a double Beyond the Gates episode where they announced a new line and a new set. So yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like, and we said this on the Lost episode of the podcast, but the
lost episode.
Lost episode, the whole, you could consider it like that the new film is taking such a different view, just taking the franchise in a new direction, that Mattel are having to react to that and almost bundle some of the more, all the kind of Jurassic Park and World era stuff together, because they have to make space for whatever's coming next, because it is going to be very different. You could look at it from that angle. That's probably just a random thought, but it is
That
interesting. It seems a bit sudden.
that sounds awesome to me, and like the prospect of a new big line dedicated to a specific Jurassic film is also a fun idea. Like I don't know, these 93 Classic and Legacy Reimagined, like a lot of the designs are like retro and colorful and wacky, and so it begs the question of like how that's going to play into future Jurassic toys. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But more excitingly, more exciting, in more exciting news, I don't know what I'm saying. Jurassic Park Survival is a video game that was cancelled once, reimagined in 2015 with the release of Jurassic World, cancelled again, and is now been reimagined again by Saber Interactive, who are now in active development. This one won't be cancelled, says Universal Studios head. No, it might be cancelled. You never know. But it's on its way. I don't know what I'm saying. Somebody take over.
Tell us about Jurassic Park Survival, Jaden.
Yeah, well, I guess this feeds into Jurassic June, because I guess the start of this month we're all hyped for Summer Games Fest, because leading up to Summer Games Fest, we had the COO Tim Willits post on his story that he was in London a month before the event, walking down like a studio hallway with like dinosaurs on the wall and stuff like that. And then we had the Xbox installation thing a week prior to Summer Games Fest as well, where you could install Jurassic Park Survival, which I've never seen ever before. I still can't get on the thing as it was an oopsie. I just can't.
No, and we can confirm as well, like Assis did it. He
Yeah.
did it on his Xbox and showed us that's where the pictures came from. You just
Um.
couldn't load anything and it would show you an error when you tried to load the game.
Yeah, so I've never seen a game where you could pre-install it where it doesn't have a release date because you can only pre-install games when they're close to coming out. So that as well, and then yeah, obviously the night before the Xbox showcase, the Xbox social media manager tweeted the water in the cup shaking.
The
So
iconic, everybody in the
which
Jurassic
is
fandom knows this is the tease.
yeah.
which is a dog whistle for Jurassic fans.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah. I guess they had us hook, line, and sinkered for that, especially for
yeah.
me because I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch these showcases.
Oh,
But
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So we didn't get Jurassic Park Survival, and then on that same weekend there was like a Russian website where it had the release date for 2026. That's what it said.
Oof.
Um
Another punch in the gut for Jurassic
y-
Park survival fans.
yeah. So that's the date we have so far, but we're always hearing like weird things like European websites at the start of the year had it for 2024 for pre-orders on
Exactly,
their
yeah. There was
website
that
and stuff like
December
that.
2024 release date that was going
Yeah.
around for a long
So
time.
that there was that. Um so yeah, I think we can say it's not coming out this year. I think it's safe to say that. Um
Yeah, they confirmed that in the IGN
yeah,
article.
yeah.
yeah, the IGN update. Yeah,
Yeah, what
So about the whole like Summer Games Fest thing, because I find that really interesting, and the more I think about it, the social media manager for Xbox, it's either for Xbox or Xbox something, but the guy who posted that tweet either didn't know that that tweet meant something, but I feel like it was meant to appear, and they were meant to show something, but it got pulled last minute, which happens, and with Jurassic with multiple partners at play, it could happen. The other option is that he tweeted that because they all saw something behind the scenes, and my theory was that maybe the way they saw something behind the scenes was on an Xbox, and it was like a closed door, because they do this at game events, right? They do
yeah.
like closed door, like a preview for other game developers, other companies to show what they're working on, and uh,
Saber was heavily involved in Summer Games Fest as well, so they were present for the
yeah,
event
they
as
were
well, so it makes
present.
sense.
So I feel like maybe they showed something behind the scenes, and the only way they were able to do that is by having it some way installed on an Xbox at the event, and like they had to set it up as a pre-install, and like Assis found it and other people found it. I don't know. I That's the only thing I can think of, or else his tweets just really random.
Very random,
Assis,
especially the night
Assis
before.
is our resident like investigator
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Jurassic Outpost.
Gamer, investigator, knowledge. He's on the website as podcast producer. A living
Yeah,
legend. Um, no, it's really, I'm really curious what that was. I think the IGN uh, article was clearly a reaction to the fact that there was no news. I didn't see much like negativity. I just saw people pretty disappointed because they were self-hyping, and that guy's tweet hyped everybody up, but people were just expecting there to be something there. Um,
I also apologize if I got anyone overhyped. I just put a lot of the signs together, the stars were aligning,
this is
and
actually an intervention, Jaden.
yeah. And I'll probably make the same mistake later with what we talk about next, in regards to games, but I don't learn, just
Well,
like the people that build
when do you
Jurassic Park.
think when do you think survival's actually going to come?
Well, I I remember at the start of the year when I think it was us three or us four with Aziz. I always thought it was going to be 2025 until Aziz convinced me to jump on the train. Like, nah, baby, it's happening this year. And I was like, all right, I'm Jurassic 3 bros. We're going in together. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I hope it's next year, but especially with the hype of the movie coming out and stuff like that, you would imagine so. But yeah, so far the only date that we can only go off is 2026. So for now, I think that's what we just have to deal with, and that's the only thing we can really base everything off now.
I think clearly they don't want to commit to a date, and they didn't want to commit when they released that trailer, as they would have said 2025. And I think what I always bring this up, but Grand Theft Auto is like the other major player. It's like the largest anticipated game, right? And they put
That's also
2025.
20. It's
Well, they
2026
put
now.
2025 at the end of their trailer, but they I think the assumption now is that it's going to be 2026. And also they have delayed every single game since like San Andreas, like past
Since the dawn of
the
time.
dawn of time. Yeah, so literally, I think I feel like that pushes it. But Jurassic Park Survival, they probably just really don't want to commit to a date because they know that it's the next year of development, whatever it is. It's probably going to be a bit challenging with approvals or whatever goes through. But I don't know. I feel like the IGN did tell us a lot, showed us a lot, and I really like what we've seen so far. I mean, I'm just really hyped up. It feels like for me, it's like the memory I had when I was a kid buying like PS2 magazines and PC Gamer magazines and just searching through for Operation Genesis, like Jurassic Park video game news. And obviously back then, Jurassic Park Survival on the PS2, like trying to like reading about it in magazines. But the hype for Operation Genesis, even when it was back when it was called Project Genesis, I remember that in magazines. I'm getting that same feeling when I read the IGN article. I was like, it's such a tease without giving us too much, like 3 screenshots from the game, with like a little bit of information. I love that.
Yeah, no, definitely. As well as that, I also want to reiterate that it's not bad that we're wait if it is 2026 because at least they're taking their time and putting 100% effort and like I guess love into the game to get everything right. So that's why I don't mind waiting until 2026 because that's how you're gonna get something pretty good. Um,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be rushed or anything, which is what I appreciate. Because normally in the gaming scene now, things are never finished, and it just always goes wrong with games these days. So I don't mind waiting 2 years for this to come out, so we get a fully polished game and that's well done and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully everyone can be as patient as me. I know it sucks, especially after the start of June and stuff like that. But it was cool that the community got together. We're all hyped together, and I think that's the main part we should really look at is just coming together, getting excited, and geeking out and all that jazz. But yeah,
Yeah, it's an exciting time in the Jurassic world at the moment. There's a lot to be hyped about, and Jurassic Park Survival is equal to all the other things that are going on.
So yeah, you said about how I don't play many games, so I don't have like first-hand experience with this, but I know that Cyberpunk was a game that was released totally unfinished and has only just sort of reached that point where it's now it's like quote unquote playable. But this, you said it's like happening across the gaming, the
oh
whole field
yeah,
of gaming. This is
it
something we don't want for survival, obviously.
yeah. I think it's been happening for the past I'd say 4 years, maybe even longer, of just unfinished games just coming out, and not just like here and there. Like these are from big companies like EA, Activision, like just like with COD, Battlefield, even like some of the sports games that they do and stuff like that. It's just bug filled and just not finished, not complete. Like even for example, Battlefield and stuff like that. Big title from EA. The beta played better than what the game did, and they didn't fix the game until after 3 years after its release. Now it's playable. I guess the same thing with Cyberpunk and stuff like that as well. There's many other
Wow.
games that do it and stuff like that as well. But so yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that from Survival because yeah, with the date that we have for 2026, I think we're all right. I think we're all right.
Yeah, and also Saber's like so I've played. I've said this before. I've played SnowRunner and I've played Expeditions now. Their other driving sim, and it's not buggy. So I don't know. It came out pretty recently. It's not buggy. They play fine. So they have a good attention to detail. I think I made up that point in one of the recent Outpost videos that the the whole point of those driving games is the driving physics and simulation, but the worlds that they craft around the driving and around the vehicle feel so fleshed out, detailed. There's so much ambience and sound going on. I tried to show it. It's hard to show it rather than you just play the game because you kind of get sucked into it. But I have a good sense that they'll if the player is if you're just like playing the game and you just stand still, it'll feel like one of those true ambiences, like you're there on the island and the sound changes throughout.
One of one of those Saber driver simulator games, in part, has to do with like finding dinosaur fossils or something. Does it not?
Yeah, yeah, the recent one, Expeditions. You have to. I've only played a small portion of it, but you're like using different vehicle types to go excavating and using lidar detectors and stuff, going out into the wilderness or the desert, whatever it is, and digging up treasures and other things. And one of the major things is dinosaur fossils. And you can't help but think of like the connections. Like, I wonder if they put that in the game because they were already had some dinosaur skeleton fossils that had been made for something Jurassic. I don't know. That's obviously a far fetched thought, but it is interesting.
I don't think it's too far fetched. I can easily see that being adapted into survival as like even as a prequel mission or something like that, or it takes you back for like you're watching a what are they called? Not a cutscene, and then it like
Oh yeah,
it
like
takes you
a
back to a
flashback
prequel.
or
Yeah, and like you're in the amber mine, and then you quickly have to do like a mission in that cutscene where you're like I don't know digging out amber or something like that. I
it'd be
think
really interesting to see, yeah, what they do with the game. Like, is it just going to be on the island, or is there going to be like, are you going to be able to get off and like head to the city? No, like
Jurassic City.
yeah.
city, yeah. No, but there is a lot to talk about with survival, and hopefully we learn more soon. But as you said, 2026. Let's. I guess it's like it makes sense to put our bets on 2026 because when it turns around and they're like, oh, it's like August 2025, we'll all be very happy. I think that'll be a nice little treat. But there's another Jurassic Park game in development. Is there not?
Yes, there is. Yeah, last month we got confirmation from Frontier that they've signed a new license deal with Universal for a third Jurassic World game. That's on the actual forum page of Frontier. Um, it says third Jurassic World game, so I assume that's going to be Jurassic World Evolution 3. Especially that Gamescom is going to be in August as well. Frontier have their studios in London and I think some around Europe as well. And they announced Jurassic World Evolution 1 in 2017 at Gamescom as well. And that came out alongside Fallen Kingdom. I imagine they tried to do the same thing with Dominion, but Dominion got delayed because of COVID. So they had to release it before Jurassic World Dominion. And I think they're trying to restart their, I guess, content calendar schedule. This is just my, I guess, theory because I'm just putting things together. I think in August we're probably going to see a pretty cool update from Frontier. They might announce Jurassic World Evolution 3 to come out with the new Jurassic World movie next year.
Mm.
It
No, that
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll see it, especially like in Europe and stuff like that as well with game studios. Normally, like because EA is based in Europe and stuff like that, they normally wait till Gamescom to do their big announcements and stuff like that. So and Frontier Jurassic World Evolution 3 is one of their big titles, so I imagine they're gonna save that for that as well. But yeah, I'm hoping we see some news, especially that they announced it last month as well. And there's been some rumors trickling in. Apparently, there's like a gameplay video leak out there somewhere that someone in my Twitch community was talking about. I can't find it. I can't find it. Am I allowed to say
A
that or
game
no?
a leaked gameplay video of Evolution.
Yeah. I
Okay.
didn't have. Yeah. Do we have to cut that? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. That's. I didn't find any evidence on it, so I didn't say anything because I only found out on Thursday, and then yesterday I was just so swamped. But yeah, I tried researching it, but I couldn't find anything, so I just thought it was just rumor. So I was just like, okay, I'm not going to confirm it unless I don't find anything.
Rumors abound.
Interesting.
Mm.
Is it? Did that Did they? Whoever saw it, did they confirm if it was a park builder or not,
Um,
or whatever you
no.
call it now, simulator park?
I'm just assuming it's a park builder. It's going to be Jurassic World Evolution 3 because in the actual forum in the agreement thing, it says Frontier and Universal have renewed their license for a third Jurassic World game.
But it says third Jurassic World game, not Evolution
No,
3.
it says third Jurassic World game. So it could
Because
be a
there
different one.
wasn't there rumors for a while that Frontier were in development on a Jurassic World game that wasn't a park builder.
Maybe.
I was pretty sure there was something that in like one of their financial
Yeah,
documents.
I mean, it would be very cool if it was something different because I do think Jurassic World 2, you can just keep updating it. It doesn't really need a third game. because it's already like pretty good. You know what I mean? Like it's you get what you're seeing. Like it's a park builder. You know what I mean? It plays good.
Yeah,
Just keep updating it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah, they're releasing updates and DLCs all the time.
Yeah, I don't like if they do make a good game, a new game, cool. Obviously it's gonna be better than the second one. I don't know how they're gonna do that because that's the big question with the Jurassic World Evolution community. Everyone's just like, oh, I didn't think we really needed it because like we're already like everyone's content with like Jurassic World Evolution too, like because they're getting a lot of content with the expansions and stuff like that, especially with Chaos Theory coming out. They could do one for
Can you
that.
can you still, as somebody that hasn't played Evolution 2 past the first level or whatever, can you still like can you just like build a park?
Yeah, in sandbox mode and stuff like that, you can just
I just want to go to choose an island and build a park.
yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
I didn't know
Maybe
how
I
you
should play
can
it.
do it.
You can
Do it. Do it.
I think I have it. I think I have it.
you can also build a racetrack and race the Jeep Wranglers.
Yeah,
So you
but you
can.
know what? I'm annoyed about the Jeep Wranglers because they're different in Evo 2 than they are in Evo 1. They're not official.
Oh, I haven't played 2. I've only played 1. So
One's great. Return to Jurassic Park was the reason I started playing the first one properly, because that was a truly fantastic expansion. But I just want a remaster of Operation Genesis. I feel like
Maybe
that
it's that. Well, no, I don't know.
maybe they
I
bring
mean,
back Blue Tongue and Universal Games, Vivendi Universal, I think it was at the time. God, Jaden, did you play that or?
yeah, I remember me and my brother played it, but I being the youngest brother, I just watched him play it because obviously at
Got
that
you.
time in the early 2000s, younger brothers weren't allowed to play the console. You just
Yeah, you can play
watched.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and obviously if you go to your mom saying, "Oh, he's taking up all the room," then it's like, "What'd you say?" Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's how it
no.
was.
Well, it's I don't. I was thinking about it the other day. I haven't played it in so long. I wonder how easy it is to install and play now, because
I
there
I
was a
saw someone
large
streaming on
body.
TikTok the other day.
Really?
Yeah, someone was streaming on TikTok. I was like, "What the?" Like, because you have to like, yeah, set up your yeah, especially like with the AV cords and stuff. I don't know how they do it. Like, be able to, yeah, it's must have been a whole hassle.
Elgato, whatever it's called, right? Elgato.
Yeah, but it would have to be something before that because like Elgato didn't come out until like later. You know what I mean? Like when
Mm.
Xbox 360s and stuff like that were out.
I think we should talk about Jurassic World 4.
I agree.
That movie is now, for those who don't know, filming in Thailand. The official title is Jurassic City. The synopsis reads hang on, I actually have the synopsis here that was leaked. Did you guys see this?
The synopsis? No, I have not. I've just been seeing what ScarJo and shout out to the Scarlett Johansson community, by the way. I know Sam shouted out
Yes.
in the last podcast, but yeah, it's just amazing.
They're
The
so on top of
the
it. They keep
Yeah.
it, and
yes.
they're so happy, and yeah, it's been great. Like
They
watching.
love her and the Jurassic and ScarJo like fan groups,
It's
communities, websites are like locking arms. It's like, all right,
yeah.
we're in this together now.
It's like the
Yeah,
meme
yeah,
of like the like two strong arms like that, like just linking
yeah.
up. It's such an
Yes.
unlikely like like coming of the two communities and stuff like that, but you know it's working out great for each community. You know what I mean?
Would you like to form an alliance with me? Yes, I would.
Yes, pretty much. That's how it is. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
No, but the ScarJo, keeping up with Scarlet, and there's a bunch of other ScarJo fan websites. They're awesome. They've been like keeping up with the Scarlet side of Jurassic World 4, so it's been cool.
And there obviously isn't much right now, but they've been filming for a handful of days, I believe, a week maybe, in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you follow, excuse me,
A couple weeks now.
if you follow the local Thailand source, Real News Hawaii, you can. He is tracking the production there. That's where I get all my Jurassic news. Jurassic World 4 Saga is loading up boats and heading to a secret location off the coast again. Today marks the halfway point of shooting in Thailand. They then head to Malta for a few months, then back to London to finish up. So there are new pictures that just show the crew loading up some boats. I'm assuming some of the cast and crew getting on those boats. And they're heading somewhere cool. This is a Gareth Edwards movie. If you've seen the creator, that whole movie opens with in Thailand with the incredible huge formations on the beach. I have a feeling we're going to get those quite similar locations for Jurassic, whether it's Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. This follows them filming at a waterfall and a pretty prominent river, and there were some set pictures of ancient ruins, and then now they're like moving to at like today those pictures were saying that they were moving to a new location. So yeah.
It looks
Exactly.
so
They're moving
pretty.
around pretty fast. And I think we were talking about it on the last podcast, but their Jurassic World Eternal account on Instagram is your source for
Ray-Ban man.
Ray-Ban Man. Yeah. Ray-Ban on the set. Maybe we shouldn't be revealing his identity. He did no, it's not. They're not Ray-Bans. They're another type of glasses. But he's Gareth Edwards was spotted on set. He does walkthroughs of the set. Not Gareth Edwards, the guy Jurassic World Eternal does walkthroughs of the set, and he was at the waterfall. And we could see what appeared to be Manuel Garcia Rolfo, Luna Blaze, Audrina Miranda, I think that's her name, and what could be body doubles too. In some of the pictures, looked like they were filming a scene very close to where the helicopter was in the waterfall or above the river, dangling above the river. So whatever it is, they're on the island. Whatever the island is, what do we think the island is?
Well, I hope it's Sorna. I think it's Sorna, but I also think it's going to be something completely different. That's my feeling at the moment. But yeah,
I
Jaden.
hope it's Manticorp Island.
Okay.
No, I'm joking, by the way. I'm joking. Please don't.
I did hear a rumor that it was Manticore Island. I remember I said that to you. I think I either said it on an old podcast or said it to you.
You
Caleb,
told me
before.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind it because
No, I think they know that everyone can't get behind it,
I
especially
would,
after the success of Chaos Theory as well. Now,
yeah, I would be on board for it. I just don't think they're ever going to do that. So
yeah. But then you never know. The thing is, this whole like the island, this other island, and there's obviously dinosaurs on this island. I'm like, so the next Jurassic really is back on an island, but it's a new island with dinosaurs on it. It's not the Jurassic Island. It's just a different island. It is fine. It's believable. I'm sure it's, but like, really, I feel like we are going back to either Nublar or Sorna. I think Thailand is just standing in for it, especially because they were supposed to be filming in Hawaii originally. That was the plan. So,
and David Kep also.
Yes.
Is an argument in favor of possibly going back to those places. But
exactly, because of
maybe
the whole origins of Jurassic and the whole like the idea of is this like a movie about, I don't know. We don't know what it is. Originally, the whole leaks or the casting information. Remember Escape from New York?
Oh
yeah, at the start of the
they
year,
were saying someone close to the production compared the script or the story to an Escape from New York vibe.
Yeah, which is basically it's an extraction story. Great movie if you haven't seen it, but it's like it is like kind of an extraction story. Soldiers of fortune, soldiers like picked off one by one as they try and get out. Last ditch attempt, one person makes it out alive, kind of thing. It's like, okay, I could kind of, I mean, it's kind of the John Sayles script in a way. It's kind of what happens in his Jurassic Park 4 script in a way. It's like rescuing that whole script is about rescuing. I think it's like a millionaire's daughter who's been kidnapped by a terrorist organization. So they they drop dinosaurs in with parachutes and use raptors to you know, Call of Duty the area. But
Hudson's
I
plan
feel like
worked.
But
I,
that kind of story seems like it might work here. Just some of the like what was reported officially by Variety about like the three adults and three kids and that whole story and going back to the island, like um, you know, an extraction or a rescue story of one party helping like rescuing the other off of the island getting picked
mhm.
off by raptors. That sounds like it might fit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And I, the whole there was, there's rumors going around about it being. I think we spoke about this with podcast with Samantha, but about like maybe it's dinosaur tours or something like that, and they get lost on a dinosaur tour. Could be. I don't feel like they would do that post Jurassic Park 3. That kind of was the plot of JP3 in a way. It wasn't fully. It was only the small introduction scene, but that is literally how Eric gets caught on the island. Is like dino tourism gone wrong. I'm sure that's not going to be the whole movie, but maybe that is maybe that is part of the setup.
I
And then
was
What
maybe that's
thinking,
who needs to be rescued is somebody who is a millionaire. Maybe they take some sort of inspiration from the Titan sub with the millionaires. And we need to rescue the millionaire's child who's at the bottom of the ocean.
the millionaires have gone on this novelty tour of a forbidden island and
Yeah,
gotten themselves stranded there
yeah.
or
So
worse. And yeah,
maybe they're
that's it.
millionaire big game hunters or something like that, and it all goes wrong.
Yeah, it could be like maybe the island is maybe it is one of the Jurassic Islands or just another island where they bred dinosaurs. Somebody bred
I
dinosaurs,
was
and it's used by multiple different people for different things. So some people go there hunting, you know.
yeah, no, I was gonna say I was thinking last night, I was like, depending on how this story goes, maybe we'll get a mention of the guys from Jurassic Park 3 who took that illegal dino tour and met their end at the hands of a carnivore, and like maybe we'll get a mention of like back in the day, like
Mhm, mhm.
all these people got eaten on these dinosaur tours or something, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
And
yeah. Because
one
the thing
man
is,
survived. Brave Toby, a god amongst men.
in 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 JP3, you really get the sense as well that wasn't like a legal operation. The way that the
No.
boat was so, it was just all kind of shady, and the boat was dirty and grimy, and you get a very you're kind of given the sense that it's not official. So even back then,
Isla
it was
Sorna restricted.
exactly, yeah, totally restricted. But anyway, yeah, no, I don't want to go too much into that. I don't know exactly that. I've heard so many different things at this point that none of it's really making sense. There's
Yeah.
photos coming out that don't make much sense without
There's
context.
uh there's photos of Jonathan Bailey and our man Jeff Goldblum and Scarlett Johansson for Jonathan Bailey's milk drinking campaign. Um, there's those photos.
Well,
First
fair
official
enough.
set photo. Those and Frank's working from the office pictures.
Yeah, the milk ones are the shameless fun, but like it like the photo of Scarlett like does look like it's in Thailand. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Okay.
yeah.
If it's
I
The
anything
I
like
shameless fun.
Jurassic Park 3, I think we're just gonna. I think we all know that we're gonna get a cinematic masterpiece if they take inspiration from Jurassic Park 3. It's the perfect
Yes.
movie.
Is that playing for you guys?
Yeah,
What is happening?
yeah. I was like, is that something going off on my PC?
It's the tools available to. Okay, stop that now. There we go.
What?
You said something
What?
about
What? Hold. What was that?
there's these tools available to us that I just saw above. That was dramatic piano because you said Jurassic Park 3 cinematic masterpiece. So
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
dramatic
I was
piano.
like, what in the twilight is happening here? Is that?
Yeah, no, I
That was
agree.
amazing.
But I think it's really interesting with Kept Back and with everything we know about the movie so far. It sounds like an original JP3/JP4 idea that's been brought back to life. Whether they have reimagined that for the modern audience, meaning the Jurassic World post Dominion story, or whether we're going back in time and filling in the timeline between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World, which does make a lot of sense. There's more than 10 years there. Uh, and if they want to show the evolution of Velociraptors, for example, then there's still a lot that can go between the JP3 Raptors and Blue. But
Um,
I don't
I
I
Go
don't know.
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I don't know. I feel like the only way they would be going, all the indication is that it's post Dominion. So unless they're really keeping that part a secret until we see on-screen vehicles or costumes that help date the project, we won't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, what if, we were talking about how this feels like Jurassic Park 3, and we're like bringing ideas of post Jurassic Park 3 things back, whether it's modern or not. What if part of this movie, what if the opening of this movie is like showing us an event that happened right after Jurassic Park 3 to give us context for the future, and then like the rest of the film like builds on that, but it's set later.
So
Like,
like a
I don't know,
prologue.
it could be both. It could be like some part of it is set as a prologue or a prequel to other things, and then it gives us context for something that happens later, which is like the full plot of the movie. But
Ooh, I'm liking what you're saying,
that'd be
especially.
interesting. That would
I
be
mean,
cool, and it sort of makes sense when you have David Kep and you have all these old ideas and stuff like that. But
you can see it. You can see him doing that because that's what they did in Dominion, right? Like with Maisie's mum and stuff like that. They kept going back and showing like all that stuff. Yes, I know that's a thumbs down, Jack. I know, I know. But I'm
Sorry.
just saying, like, they could do something like that, like, I don't know, like security footage of shit going wrong for Jurassic Park 3 before all that stuff. You know what I mean? And just, I don't know, just yeah, I don't know. I like that idea, prologue idea of like everything
or
going to shit.
there was another after, like, not long after Jurassic Park 3, there was another illegal dino tour that went awry. They discovered something on the island, that was then lost to time or kept a secret, and then like whenever the movie is maybe set like 20 years later or 30 years later, like that thing on the island is rediscovered. Maybe it's an experiment, maybe it's a dinosaur. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but
No, I
which
like it.
everyone on Twitter seems to be spitballing all over the place too. So.
Yeah, because one of the things that is really interesting about the set photos of the Aztec or Mayan or whatever it is, ancient ruins,
Hmm.
ruins. Um, it it's what does that say? Most people are kind of
Yeah.
saying, well, in the Jurassic lore, Trespasser is the video game that gave us and told us about the ancient civilization that actually lived on Isla Sorna before John Hammond came personally on his own with a sheath to just destroy, just wipe out the island. No, but that's what Trespasser tells of, right? And obviously in Trespasser there are ancient ruins across the island that have sort of been destroyed or just like lost to time.
I I love the trespasser angle. But with what you just said about, like, costumes maybe looking dated, or even being dated, maybe some portion of this movie or the entire movie is like that's what the ruins are. Maybe it's like sometime in the past someone discovered these, or sometime in the past we give context to these ruins, and then like maybe the rest of the story does take place in that time period, or maybe it just gives context for something that's later. But yeah.
It's tough because we know that the studio are going to be wanting it to be post Dominion, or
Hmm.
because they've just spent all that money, they've just set all that up, and that was the last movie, and it's coming so soon after the last movie that they will almost want, in simple terms, it to feel like, oh, it's a continuation, it's another one, it's the same
Hmm.
franchise. So it is, yeah. I feel like they almost won't want to go back in time, but with Cap, it's really hard to know what that is. I feel like maybe if it wasn't for that, we know that David Leitch was almost literally on set, and then things were moving so fast with Gareth then coming in. as much as Gareth is going to have a lot of sway, I do wonder if Gareth's come in with the angle of, this is my JP4, this is what I would have done, because Godzilla was full of what I would consider references to the first Jurassic, and almost feels like a spiritual sequel in a way. At least the first section of it, where it's discovery, and then there's a restricted area, and you kind of just, the whole thing kind of feels like, yeah, you can imagine Jurassic could have gone this way. The way he shoots the helicopter and the way the approach to, I forget where it is in the actual Godzilla movie, but it's filmed in Hawaii when they find the big footprints.
Uh, I think that is actually in it might. I think it
Oh
actually
no,
is in Japan or Hawaii, one of the two. Because like
yeah.
it can't. It
Yeah, they
goes to
filmed it on
so,
Kualoa, I think, the big footprint or something. But anyway,
yeah.
anyway, just like, it just felt very Jurassic, and I feel like maybe this Gareth's coming from the same angle as, like, this is probably my hopeful thinking, but maybe they're like, in a way, Jurassic World hasn't happened yet. We don't need to worry about that. This is post JP3. This is something that happened somewhere else in the world, or
Yeah, we dodged a bullet train with the whole David Leitch thing. I think, and I'm going to keep saying that because this is my response to what you're saying, is just that, like, Gareth Edwards is great, and I think that is such a huge reason for, like, excitement and optimism. Is, like, I think, like, all his Jurassic shots and how much he loves Jurassic, like, I think he's gonna make something unique to what you're saying. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. I want to rewatch Monsters because it's been so long since I've seen that. That was his first movie, and I bet you there's a good sense in that as to what we might receive on screen, especially with the cast being quite tight. Yeah. We know that
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Bailey and Scarlett Johansson are very intertwined in the cast. Like, they're the two leads, right?
Basically,
As far
yeah.
as we can work out.
Mahershala Ali and Manuel Garcia Rufo also seem like, it's just kind of unclear, but, like, ScarJo and Jonathan Bailey for sure. Yeah.
And we can't fully tell, but from the Jurassic World Eternal pictures, it does seem like Manuel and Audrina and the kids are together, right?
Yeah. Seems that way. Yeah.
For now.
So
So we'll see what happens. It's very exciting. How do we think they're going to market this movie?
I was about to say this. We're starting. I said this earlier, but, like, I'm I'm hoping they're gonna. We've gotten all these rumors and all these set photos and all these set videos. Like, I'm hoping they're gonna release something official soon, a year out from the movie on July 2nd, which at the time of this recording is a few days from now. Next week, like, I would hope that maybe a year out they're gonna release something official. Just because there's been so many rumors and stuff lately. If not, it starts to beg the question of why we're being so quiet about this. Like, why aren't we sharing at least something official? Like, even if it's just basic stuff. But um, that's my 2 cents. Is I hope it's a great opportunity to release something official a year out, and I hope they, like, take off from there. But I know you guys also had thoughts about how they're going to market this or how they should market it. But
I feel it is they the whole production has been very rushed. Not that that's a bad thing, because if they're so solidified on the script is gravy, then it really is a case of just nailing it. But
yeah,
the fact that the movie comes out in almost a year's time, literally almost exactly a year's
Oh,
time,
that's crazy! Wow.
that is so crazy to
This
think about.
time next year, we're gonna be
it
like
is
talking
crazy.
about trailers and like what we expect. What's this?
I
Oh,
Yeah,
mean,
that's
this
wild!
time next year, it's going to be probably premiering and all that good stuff. So
that's
Early
it. That's it.
screeners and shit. Wow.
And obviously, because they're filming right now, nobody is expecting a trailer. There's no, they're
if
like,
they if they're nailing it, if everything's really solid, which it seems that way,
yeah,
in a lot of ways, like, then, like, I think they have enough time to get everything they need to get done. But, like, it's tight and it's moving so fast and it's crazy. So
it is, and all we have so far is the Rex icon in classic white color with the date below it, July 2nd, 2025. That's the only
which
official logo thing.
the July, just briefly, I'll say the July 2nd date is really interesting because that's a Wednesday. July 2nd, 2025 is a Wednesday. And it's the July
It
4th
is
American in
Wednesday, my
it
dudes.
is Wednesday, my dudes. That's just like normally Jurassic movies are blockbusters that come out on weekends. There is a reason I see for this, which is that July 4th is the American Independence Day holiday, which is right after that. So it's kind of like the Jurassic is going to be the big movie that weekend. But like July 2nd is a Wednesday,
America.
and it's like, and it's like, has a I don't know, has a Jurassic movie ever like released directly on a Wednesday before? It's always been Friday dates, right? So not that that's a problem, and there's a reason for it. It's just kind of interesting, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and the fact that they are gunning for it to be a summer blockbuster again, we were wondering for a while, like, oh, maybe they'll do this one like in winter or do winter release, play it differently. But I'm all yeah, a summer release for Jaden.
This is,
Um,
I mean, and a July 2nd Independence holiday adjacent release is a different thing even from like a normal June release. So the last Jurassic movie that released in June was Jurassic Park 3. So or released in July, sorry.
Hell
And it's a cinematic masterpiece. Run it back. Run it
yeah.
back.
But I'm curious how they will approach the marketing this time. Everybody knows that the Dominion marketing pushed it. The Fallen Kingdom marketing pushed it a little bit too far. There was some great trailers in there. Jurassic World had some really nice TV spots back in the day, way back when.
Yeah, I avoided a lot of the later marketing for Dominion because I didn't want to be spoiled. So yeah.
It, I'm not an I can't remember fully, but I know that it was very spoilery. But so
After the
is
first trailer, yeah.
every
Yeah.
blockbuster now is marketed that way. So I'm really interested. How did they market the creator? How did they market Godzilla? I know that Gareth directly doesn't have a lot of say over, like, say, for example, Godzilla or
Marketing and stuff
Star
like
Wars
that.
marketing, but
Mm.
I wonder if Universal will try and approach this one differently.
I hope so. Jaden, go.
Yeah, I hope it's a different approach. Like, but yeah, I think, yeah, now the way that marketing works, I think I'm not holding my breath, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I hope that we get something different, but
It
I just
feels
can't see it.
like, yeah, it feels like it might be. It feels like it could be has the possibility to be like a hybrid of what's come before. Like we can get the big blockbuster marketing, but maybe since we're trying to move this in a new direction and do a new thing, we do some more minimalist tease type marketing as well, just to give it a uh, different impression. That would be nice. So
Yeah. Something smaller. I'd love a cast picture of them in Thailand. I think that would be a really great way to
coming on
advertise.
Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe it will. I think a picture of them with Gareth or something, just
Yeah.
something small. I think that would be a really great opportunity. But we'll see what happens there. Um, we, based on what we know now, the helicopter on the island, the kids on the island. What do we think all the water filming in Malta is going to be? Because that's what's coming next, and that's like a longer period of filming than they're actually spending in the jungles. Uh,
Hmm.
is this part of the journey? Are they going to be filming the helicopter once it's in the river sequence? Are they going to be filming sequences on boats on the ocean heading to the island? Is that a different team? How they get there? Is it a dino tour on a boat? I don't know. Like what
Is there an underwater
Scene.
marine reptile facility? Yeah, something like,
Ooh.
or an underwater marine reptile scenes. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, where do they end up on the island? Maybe they get through the underground. Maybe they find underground tunnels, like something that's been in the Jurassic lore of the tunnels that connected the islands and the paddocks and the different buildings used, and then maybe raptors gone in those tunnels too. But maybe they end up in like some underwater lab or something like Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea.
That would be
There's,
cool.
I watched that movie the other day actually.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I sat there and I was like, That movie came out in 1998 or 1999, I think, and it's like classic pulpy, ridiculous '90s science fiction. It's awesome. But I sat there and I was like, there's a lot of this that feels Jurassic. Like we're experimenting on animals and they seek revenge on us. Like
Yes.
so you say Deep Blue Sea. Like maybe we'll get some of those. I would welcome some of those vibes, honestly. So that movie's really
That
violent.
had
So
it is really violent. It had Samuel L. Jackson in it as well, right?
that too, yes.
What is it he says? I think I'm trying to find the
I'm
clip
trying to
now.
think what he says too.
When he gets eaten. Hold
Dude,
on.
he gets absolutely just devoured in one bite. Wait, I have the little monologue he says before he gets eaten.
Oh, go for it.
He says they're standing. So I watched this movie the other day. So they're standing in this little part of their facility with a little water like water portal to the ocean that they can like swim out to the ocean through. And the sharks can also come up through there. And this is after like two people have already died. They're figuring out what to do, and Samuel L. Jackson's character decides it's time to like pontificate eloquently about science. And he says, "You think water moves fast? You should see ice. It moves like it has a it moves like it has a mind, like it knows it killed the world once and got a taste for murder. After the avalanche, it took us a week to climb out. Now, I don't know exactly when we turned on each other, but I know that 7 of us survived the slide and only 5 made it out. Now, we took an oath that I'm breaking now. We said we'd say it was the snow that killed the other 2, but it wasn't. Nature is lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to man." And then he literally gets chomped right after he says
Boom.
that.
That is, you just heard a line directly from the new Jurassic World movie.
No, but it's like so much of that movie, I was just like, this feels a little bit Jurassic, and it was
I
good.
totally get that. Isolated research facility in the middle of nowhere. Once you're there, you're trapped there. I get it for sure. And that movie
Yeah.
has a proper feel of isolation, like members getting picked off one by one
Hmm.
as they're trying to like survive and get through. It's very Jurassic in that sense.
Which are elements of Jurassic
Water
that
moves fast. You should see ice.
you should see ice. You think nature's lethal, it doesn't hold a candle to man. And then nature just
That's a good
takes
line.
him out. No, but those are elements of Jurassic that I feel like are possibly going to come back. The survival, the brutality of nature.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because as much as people wanted to see this sort of coexistence with dinosaurs and man, that isn't something I ever wanted to see. And not that they couldn't have done it well in the movies, but from the very beginning of the world era, I was a bit like, oh, about the raptors, because I missed the bloodthirsty, crazy, cunning velociraptors especially from the Lost World and JP3. So it looks like getting a sense that we're getting some of that back, some of that classic retro feel with the dinosaurs. Yeah.
the isolation, though, it feels like we are setting up situations of isolation, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true isolation as well. This feeling of like, oh, this is not good.
Deep Blue Jurassic.
Yeah. So we'll see over the next few weeks what happens with set photos. I'm sure there were reports that there were people walking around, had their phones confiscated, and were told to leave the set.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. I think they're getting
Jaden's face.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
more isolated locations now in Thailand, so I doubt we'll see too much more. Malta will probably see a little bit, like from a distance. People will try and get photos of whatever they're shooting in the water tanks, I imagine. And then when they get to the studio in London, the only leaks that will come will be from people inside the production sending photos to people they think they can trust outside the production, and those people are sending it to Jurassic Park fans to be like, look, look,
Yes,
it's a
there
thing.
there was a photo from a local in Malta that has nothing to it has nothing to do with like the production or the story, but there was like a little Subaru parked at the Malta studios with a tire cover with the Jurassic Park logo on it, and people are like,
Yes.
but like I mean,
Well, we
I
did
don't
a
have any authority, but I can assure you, like that has nothing to do with the production, probably. But
no, yeah, yeah. I imagine that's just like a bit of a happenstance, but also it looks like just a literal Jurassic Park logo with like
yeah,
dirt, mud that has splashed up and just dirtied up the bottom bit. Um, but you never know; that could be the logo of the new movie. Imagine it was revealed that
Jurassic
way.
Park.
Yeah, some overeager like Malta marketing manager was like, "Yeah."
Hell yeah.
Really curious to see. But anyway, before we wrap this one up, Jaden, Jurassic June, run us through it. What's happened? What's gone on? What hasn't gone on?
I'm gonna
Rate it
need
out of 10.
I'm gonna need some help with this because I know I've probably missed
I'll
some
help you.
stuff.
I'll help you.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So from the start of we'll take it from the start. Yeah, because Chaos Theory came out what like a couple days before June. Like it was like
oh
only
yeah,
it was like
yeah.
not
A
even a
week,
week.
a week before, I think, but it
Yeah,
like set up well. Yeah.
yeah. Because obviously the things that drag out from Chaos Theory, like conspiracy theories, fan discussion, the community coming together and just like talking about this happened, that happened, blah blah blah. Wonder what's gonna happen next. Um, so yeah, I think the start of Jurassic June, I think it was good, especially the hype of Jurassic Park Survival as well for Games Fest on the back of Chaos Theory. I think the whole that whole first week it was just a lot of hype. There was a lot of like on the back of Chaos Theory, Jurassic Park Survival. I think that was pretty cool. Um, with Jurassic June, I like I understand like everyone doesn't really like the social media post from the official account.
People are
Um,
a little disappointed, but like,
yeah,
I mean,
I just
but
don't
go on.
really. Yeah, like the only thing that I can really critique, and this is very nitpicky, and the only thing I can say that's bad like that wasn't like it wasn't like received well was probably the cake video that they did. Um, amazing concepts. I like the concept
Yeah,
of it. I
and the
think it's
stuff they made was very cool, and like, yeah,
yeah, I just think it was the acting in it. I don't think you needed to have
but
acting in it. I think it could have been executed so much better if you used influencers or even like the Chaos Theory cast. You know what I mean? You could
yeah,
have
yeah,
just
yeah,
made that so much better using Jurassic fans or influencers, content creators, or yeah, the cast of Chaos Theory. I think you could have executed that idea so much better, and
yeah.
it just felt like a very forced and not
It was
authentic.
it was just unexpected and random. I think it's just like before we got certain other content, we got is this raptor a cake or is it a toy?
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of funny. And it's like the like I said, the things they made in the video and like all the talent involved, that's awesome. It was just like random and weird. But like to what you were saying, in a way, like a lot of the content has been really good, honestly. Like they made a Jurassic June logo that's really cool. I wish they would have used it more and done more things with it, but they've actually been tweeting like or I say tweeting, they've been sharing them all over the different social medias, but like all the behind the scenes clips and clips from the film and like nostalgic stuff, and that's been great. I mean, I think they could have done that 100 times more than they did. But also to what you were saying about like the Chaos Theory cast being involved in or whatever, like DreamWorks Animation and the whole Chaos Theory side of things, like they have been putting out some great content this Jurassic June, like interviews with the cast and behind the scenes with the writers and the artists and the showrunners and like all this just so much great content this Jurassic June on that side of the Jurassic stuff, and it's been really great and more than I thought it would be from that side of things, to be honest with you. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
um,
Like, that's what like yeah, the content side of things as well. Like, it's hard for me to not give it a high score and stuff like that. Because even like for us, Jurassic Outpost, like we did the interview with Scott Creamer and Aaron. So like obviously it's very biased for me like to say bad things about it, but it wasn't bad at all. Especially like comparing it to last year for the 30th anniversary. Like
mhm.
what we have here is amazing as well. We even got season 2 confirmed for Chaos Theory as well with a little trailer
Yeah.
and like pictures and stuff like that. Even a Forza collab with the Jurassic Jeeps and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
that's amazing and stuff like that. Like we got to
Oh yeah, Forza Horizon or
Horizon.
whatever.
yeah,
They're
Yeah.
doing.
I didn't think of it until in the middle of it, but like we already like segued past the gaming stuff, so I thought I'll just bring it into the Jurassic June part
We've,
of
I
Oh,
it.
that's
mean,
fine. Just don't do it again.
to that point, we've there has been so much, it hasn't all come from one place. It's come from a bunch of different places. All the
Yeah,
Jurassic
yeah,
stuff this Jurassic June, the movie news, the survival news, chaos theory, tons of Jurassic like community content creators making videos and content and toys and tons of stuff. So like there's been so much this Jurassic June. It's been cool.
Yeah, especially the campaigns as well. Like I said at the start with the Boost Juice campaign. Especially in Australia, I haven't seen like a pop-up like thing happen like this before. Like yes, we've had like the supernova thing in Australia and stuff like that. We had a chart time thing, like a bubble tea thing for Dominion. So it's cool again that they're, still keeping on doing something around every June, you know what I mean? Like last year we missed out on something June related. We just like some creators got some things like that. They did some things on like normal TV where they had little QR codes during this Jurassic Park was on TV and stuff like that, where it took you and you had like a augmented reality dinosaur, but that was it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure what else the official Jurassic World account has been posting for Jurassic June. I don't know what anyone expects. Like, we're not gonna get, like we said before, we're not gonna see a new trailer for the new movie or anything like that. I think, yeah, I think people are being a bit too harsh on it, especially
Mhm.
like in the sense of the way that Jurassic was as well, like from 2001 to 2014. I think if you sometimes you need to take a step back and put yourself back in that time where we'll get nothing,
Yeah.
absolutely nothing, and to where we are now, where we have Chaos Theory, the success of it as well, like that as well. We're getting content and stuff like that, campaigns. Even yesterday, San Diego Comic Con, Chaos Theory, boom,
Yeah, exactly.
another announcement. Yeah, there's been a lot
Um,
of cool announcements. Like I would give this Jurassic June a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me.
oh,
You actually did
at
the rating.
least,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah. No,
Nice.
like I was
Yeah.
gonna say, the exhibition has been all over the place. It's been in Australia with you. It's
yeah,
expanding. It's expanding to Mexico City. It's
yeah.
also in the
England.
States and Texas and England. Like
Yeah,
it's expanding all over the place, which is awesome. Like
Mhm.
it's been
Mexico. They just announced as well. This week.
yeah, yeah. Like the exhibition has been going like for a decade now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true, and evolving with time as well. They get
yeah,
slightly better as they go, so that is really cool. It has been fine. I think people just anticipated maybe, like you said, movie posts, stuff about the game, but
yeah.
we all know the way that Jurassic Social works. I don't know what, like Jaden said, I don't know what people were expecting.
I
Because
think
we should have anticipated it. Anticipate
yeah.
nothing, and you shall be greatly rewarded. There is some
They
nice stuff that's been posted, and they've posted a few clips from the Lost World, and it's nice that there isn't just it's not just Chloe and Air,
yeah,
I
the
think
Lost
they're
World and
trying.
Owen
the
and
Lost
Claire.
World and JP3 recognition has been very
Yeah,
nice. They made a dedicated Jurassic June logo for the first time ever. Like
Hmm.
that, and while maybe people might say they could have used it more, maybe they could have, but like it's awesome that they made a great looking official logo. And like this is I feel like Jurassic June is really gonna be an official, like widely celebrated growing thing going forward.
Yes,
So
they did make a nice Jurassic June logo. I'll give them that credit, but it's
mhm.
not as nice as our Jurassic June logo.
I was about to say the
nah.
same thing. Ours, and especially the Sorna version.
Oh, the sauna alt
Chef's
variant.
kiss. Mm.
Gordon Ramsay, who?
James.
That's it. James
Shout
McQuaid,
out, yes, shout out to James. Yes.
He
a
cooked.
graphic designer, resident Australian. Sorry, Jane, you have to move aside. We can only have one
That's fine.
Aussie.
It's fine. I don't mind.
Nah, yeah, he knocked it out the park. I was trying to think of maybe we should do a Jurassic June variation or something. He came back with that, and then came back with the sauna variant, and it's just like, okay, yeah, okay. With the next movie going back to sauna, this is such a great time.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, Jurassic June's exciting. There's been some cool stuff, and I think, as you said, it's such a great time for just the fandom. Like Stan Winston's school have been posting loads of new material from back in the days of production on the original Jurassic Park movies. Um, I think ILM have shared a bunch of stuff. People get involved, but the fans, like you said, there's so many fan-related projects, and you got Tom's Tales from a Jurassic World, which debuted
Hmm.
was its second season, I believe.
Yep.
Um, and there's so much going on. It's such a lively community, and I think everybody's just feeling very positive because of the new movie. There's a new game. There's evolution game. It feels like this franchise has finally reached the point where it can be called a franchise. But it's happened too late. Like it should, all these multiple games and things should have
I'm
happened like with Fallen Kingdom onwards.
Yeah,
I'm glad
definitely.
we're here. That's a
Yeah.
really interesting point, and I'm glad we're here too.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
absolutely. It's just it feels like they've been slow to catch up.
yeah, I've ranted in the past about Jurassic franchise management in relation to Star Wars and other like big franchises that you feel like you can call a franchise. And so like
Mhm.
your point about like maybe we're at a point now where we can like call this a franchise. I think that's really interesting, and I do think we're at that point, and like I think that like opens us up to a really bright future of like lots of Jurassic stuff. So
Yeah.
Agreed.
yeah,
Yeah.
They're obviously very confident in Gareth's whatever's happening over with Jurassic World 4 too, because staying quiet and they're like, yeah, no, there's something brewing, this is cooking, and this is going to reinvent the franchise a little.
David Kep.
Hell yeah.
Oh, the master.
Now, I also think they understand what they have now with the Jurassic World and Jurassic Park like franchise now. I think they understand what they have now, and I think they've finally see how big it is. And I know I say this on my channel and stuff like that, and to my community, but I do think, and this is from people like I talk to that are older than me, like my parents and stuff like that. But the way that they're seeing Jurassic now compared to a few years ago and stuff like that, like my mom even said this when I was talking to her about it and stuff like that. She's like, I think in the next 10 years, Jurassic will be as big as Star Wars and Marvel in pop culture and like be the face of it and stuff like that. And I fully agree with that. I think the way we're
Absolutely,
going, I think we're heading in that direction. And I think
absolutely.
they finally understand, and I think they're capitalizing on it. And yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
Yeah, and I do get that, but I feel it's weird because Jurassic Park was, when you think of pop culture and the kind of movies that were 90s movies,
it's the face of
and
it.
you have Ghostbusters, or like kind of that whole. I know Ghostbusters was not 90s, but you know what I mean. Um, that whole era before the Jurassic World era, Jurassic Park was still one of those icons that you would see. You wouldn't see it as much as everything else, but the fact that it then kind of died off and slowly lost its relevance, it does feel like it's back. And they have been pushing
We've
since
gained it back.
Dominion for
Yeah.
it to
Mm,
just be the Rex icon, not the full. Remember, the Dominion poster was just the icon. It
Hmm.
yeah.
wasn't the full Dominion Jurassic World logo. It didn't say Jurassic World, if I remember correctly. It was just the brown thing with the
Yeah.
Rex.
Nobody knew what the movie was called. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So it makes you wonder exactly where we're going, and the logo I guess now is just the Rex. That's becoming synonymous with the franchise, and going forward, it won't really matter what the title is. Everybody knows that it's Jurassic. It's part of Jurassic. So
Hmm.
I think that's where we're heading. But we shall see. We did come up on the last episode with a couple of titles, talking about like Trespass and things like that, based on what we'd seen, the Ancient Ruins, the Trespass game
Hmm.
from the 90s, which kind of gave off similar vibes. The idea of calling a movie Trespasser Jurassic World is actually pretty cool.
Hmm.
Don't think it'll be called that, but we shall see.
We shall see.
There's a lot going on, but we appreciate you listening to the InGeneral podcast. We will be back very soon with another episode. There is a lot to discuss, and I'm sure over the next few weeks, things will come out of Thailand, things will come out as the production moves to Malta. And I think, Caleb, you could be right. July 2nd, there might be an official announcement being a year out.
I hope so.
Maybe even it won't be official. Maybe it'll be something from, well, it doesn't make it not official, but something from Frank, or maybe it'll be,
From Gareth or the cast or something.
yeah. But
Or the
correct me if I'm wrong,
ScarJo
Gareth
community.
doesn't have social media.
He does technically, he just doesn't use it anymore. He used to. So
Okay,
yeah,
we shall see.
yeah.
But cool. Any final thoughts, Jaden?
Um, I guess if we, when's Comic Con? Is it July something?
July 25th through the 28th.
Yeah, I hope you guys, if anyone's going there, I hope you guys have a fun time. Hopefully, it's a cool time and all that stuff. I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, and
Have fun.
Jurassic Outpost will be on the ground there. We'll be at San Diego Comic Con and might have some cool little Jurassic Outpost swag to hand out. We'll see. But yeah. My final Jurassic thought on this podcast is happy Jurassic June. It's great seeing the community be really happy about a lot of Jurassic stuff, and it's been fun. So
I agree with that. Happy Jurassic June. It's been a great month for Jurassic, and as we go forward, it's going to be a really exciting time for Jurassic fans. I honestly did think the franchise was going to die after Dominion again, and it has not. So we're in for a ride.
It's
and,
kind of
yeah,
a ride.
may Jurassic never go extinct.
That's it.